going on, everybody? Welcome back to the vault. My name is Money, and today is Wednesday, which means it's time for another installment of What Do You Want Wednesdays, where I discuss your personal wish lists and what you want to see from Funko. Essentially, I ask you watching at home what you want Funko to make. It could be a brand new line altogether, or maybe adding another character or a couple of characters to a line that already exists. And if you want to see your suggestion featured in this segment, make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what you want Funko to make. It has been a couple weeks since we did this segment because I was kind of busy. So I opened it back up the other day and I have like 4 pages of suggestions here to go through. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right into this because there's a lot of great stuff that I want to make sure I talk about. Jeever DeMarcos suggests more Office, and in particular, they suggest Holly, David Wallace, Lady Gaga Gabe, Michael Moore Kevin, and Bob Vance Refrigeration. Now, at one point, the Office set was a set that Danny and I wanted to 100%. However, that's going to start changing with future waves. We've decided that we no longer want to 100% the Office set. Instead, we're just going to pick up the ones that we really want to add to the collection. And we may even get rid of some of the variants that we just don't think that we absolutely need, because the sets just become too big. But what this suggestion does well is offer characters that we haven't seen yet, and I think that's what the Office needs to hone in on. These suggestions for the Office set are fantastic, and what I personally think they should be doing to the Office set. Holly is a character we haven't seen yet, say with David Wallace. I mean, if they do a Gabe and it's not a Lady Gaga outfit, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. Michael Moore Kevin, I could probably live without because we've already gotten 2 or 3 Kevins, but Bob Vance Refrigeration, I mean, they need to start diving into more of these B-tier characters instead of giving us 8 Dwights per year, 6 Michaels per year, and 4 Jims per year. It's just too much. And that's what Office fans want, so hopefully Funko listens to this suggestion, because I 100% agree with it. So Zach Berger says, I know music licenses are very tricky, but after the album, a full Linkin Park set would be great. Then they went on to say more current music pops would be great too. Brockhampton, RTJ, Haley Williams and Paramore, etc. I personally think that the Pop Rocks line is probably one of the most underutilized lines that Funko has. I mean, they keep going back and doing all of these huge rock icons, like we got Steven Tyler and Joe Perry last year, we got a re-release of Kiss the year before that, and then most recently these new pop albums have been coming in and really cluttering up Hot Topic shelves, because I went to my local Hot Topic and they had just dozens of these Black Sabbath and Linkin Park albums. Funko is missing a lot of important musical artists, and it's a really good point that they brought up that music licenses are tricky because not everybody wants to be represented in that way. Like, for example, there are so many huge music icons right now that could be awesome pops, like Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, just to name a few of them. And then the suggestions that Zach brought up in terms of Brockhampton and Haley Williams, I mean, a Haley Williams pop would sell like wildfire. I'd love to see one like from the Riot era, and then give us a Haley Williams from like the After Laughter type of era of Paramore, you know? More retro for more of the emo fans, and then a more current look maybe with less eyeliner, for example. In terms of a full Linkin Park set, I think that would be fantastic. There's a rumor that we're going to be getting a 5-pack of Pearl Jam, which would be fantastic, and I would have to get it because Pearl Jam is one of my favorite bands from that era. And I think that doing multi-packs of bands is probably the way to do it. And if they're going to do multi-packs like this, I hope that they're limited to the Funko shop or maybe Comic-Con exclusives, because I can't think of anything worse than having 5 packs of Pearl Jam just shoved into FYE and GameStop shops. It's not going to bode well in terms of inventory. Clown Prince Dara suggests Winged Dragon of Ra, My Valentine, Harpy Lady. And this point is reiterated by a Funko Popcast who says, I would love a big wave of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops, including the Winged Dragon of Ra we should have gotten with Cypher and Obelisk. Now, there is a rumor that more Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops are on their way, and I will not put that rumor on the screen because I don't want to get flagged by Funko because they've been really cracking down on leaks. But there is going to be at least 4 commons for that set, and I bet that more exclusives are on the way as well. And I think that Winged Dragon of Ra is probably my most wanted pop at the moment. How are you going to do Slifer and Obelisk and not give us Winged Dragon of Ra? When they announced this wave at Toy Fair in 2020, I think it was, I mean, I would have bet money that we would have seen Winged Dragon of Ra for San Diego Comic-Con, and then since we didn't get it, I would have bet even more money that it was a safe bet for New York Comic-Con. And here we are approaching San Diego Comic-Con a year later, and we still do not have Winged Dragon of Ra. And I also think that getting My Valentine and Harpy Lady would be fantastic as well. I think a Harpy Lady pop would be great, and I would love to see a flocked version of it as well. Now let's talk about Marvel for a little bit. Funko Pop MH suggests Venomized Scarlet Witch. And if this suggestion doesn't scream Pop in a Box, then I don't know what does. Pop in a Box loves getting Venomized exclusives. They've had at least, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them at this point. And they also love Scarlet Witch, it seems like, considering there's going to be an endgame Scarlet Witch coming at some point in the future. Hopefully by the end of this month, I'm assuming. And I mean, Venomized Scarlet Witch would probably look sick. It would be awesome if they had it glow in the dark, for example. And I think in general, a new wave of Venomized pops is something that we need. It's been a while since we've gotten a full Venomized set because we have Marvel Zombies kind of taking the spotlight at the moment. But I think maybe giving us a 4 or 5 set of commons and maybe 1 or 2 exclusives isn't too much to ask for, and I think it would really make a lot of Marvel fans happy. So going along with Marvel, we have Population asking for a comic-accurate Winter Soldier and Mysterio. I think that comic-accurate characters are best suited for conventions, and I think they're even better suited for piece-counted items. You know, not a lot of people collect the comic-accurate characters like the New York Comic-Con Nick Fury. That kind of sat around for a while, so I think if they're gonna do a comic-accurate Winter Soldier and Mysterio, I'd love to see them be Funko Shop exclusives, maybe for San Diego or New York Comic-Con this year. And I mean, in particular for Mysterio, let's have that be an Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive. Mysterio's main colors are green and purple. Make it glow in the dark. Make it a limited piece item for those hardcore collectors. I think a comic-accurate Mysterio would just be so fantastic, and it is such a great fit for Emerald City Comic-Con. DJ DeSisto24 says, if I don't get Archer Pops, I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. You better put your big boy pants on, baby, because I got bad news for you. Archer Pops are probably not going to happen. I don't know what the deal is with Archer, but I guess maybe Funko just doesn't think it's going to sell well enough. I mean, Archer had a long run. There's 11 seasons of Archer, so it's a huge show. A lot of characters, a lot of great voice acting in that show, and they could easily do a common set of 5 or 6 characters, give us 2 or 3 exclusives, and then call it a day. I think Archer fans would just care about the representation more than anything, so if Funko were to make a set, keep it small, don't go crazy with all the different characters, just give us the main ones, and then if that sells well, then let's go ahead and hit it hard with a second wave. But I think a lot of Archer fans would just be happy with one solid wave, call it a day, and keep it moving. Queen's Collectibles suggests a Thomas and Martha Wayne Funko Pop, and that's pretty crazy that we haven't seen those yet. That feels like a 2-pack scenario rather than 2 individual pops, and I'm not sure what they would kind of put them in terms of a box. I assume just a standard like DC superhero box like most DC pops end up, and I think that's all the collectors would want, really. In general, I think that a Martha and Bruce Wayne 2-pack would be fantastic. It would be well received. I personally would not pick it up, but imagine if they put like a 2,000 or even a 1,500 piece count Funko Shop exclusive on that box. I mean, fans would just lose their minds. It would be so popular. It's 2 characters that are so important to DC, and especially Batman, obviously. So for them not to have done that yet, it kind of feels strange. So I'm hoping that at some point in the near future, they do a 2-pack, and I think that a Comic-Con exclusive would be the best way to do it. Gabriel says, I'm still waiting on those Animal Crossing pops. We need Tom Nook, Isabel, Timmy and Tommy 2-pack, Rover, Celeste, Mabel, Sable, Kix, Brewster Brothers, Red, and more. So unfortunately, I don't think that a Nintendo partnership is anything realistic for Funko, which is too bad, because I think that Animal Crossing characters would look adorable as pops. Like, imagine a flocked Blathers, imagine like a Red as a Comic-Con exclusive, and I mean, because of the popularity that Animal Crossing has seen over the last year and a half in particular, I mean, imagine how well those pops would sell. However, the fact that it is a Nintendo-only license developed in-house by Nintendo, I doubt that we will ever see Animal Crossing pops, but there are a whole bunch of Animal Crossing amiibo, which are also great figures. They're super cheap. Not a lot of them go for a lot of money on the secondary market. So for those who are looking for Animal Crossing figures at an affordable price, the Animal Crossing amiibo are a great way to do it. And a majority of those characters suggested can all be found as amiibo. And that sums up this week's edition of What Do You Want Wednesdays, where I discuss your personal want list. Do you want to see me discuss something in particular? If so, leave a comment down below letting me know what you want Funko to make. It could be a brand new license like Archer, or it could be adding on to an already existing line like the Yu-Gi-Oh line that we talked about. Make sure to leave a comment down below for a chance to be featured in an upcoming segment of this series. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. It helps the channel grow and it helps me make more content for you all watching at home. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to collect what you love, even when what you love is something that you have been asking for literally 2 years now. And as always, guys, I'll see you soon.